The silent scream. Some screams are never heard, some wounds never heal, some pains never vanish, some tears never stops rolling. This is the story of Ada, a young girl whose pain went unnoticed until it was too late. Ada was a bright 15-year-old girl with dreams as vast as the sky. She was the kind of girl who always had a smile on her face, eager to learn and make something of herself. Ada was a very beautiful young girl, and she was the only daughter of 4 children. Her brothers adored her so much and her parents loved her too. Before she was even 13 years old, she could do all the house chores, clean, fetch water and even wash. Everyone loved her and they always prayed for her. Her mom called her a blessing from God, and the whole family wouldn't agree less. Ada was born when no one expected. She was not the best child in the world, but she was the best for her family, and they all adored her. She was their everything. One fateful evening changed everything. As she walked home from school, a familiar voice called her to her. It was Uncle Obi, a trusted family friend. He offered her a ride home. She respectfully refused at first, but got into the car believing she was safe. "This is Uncle Obi," she told herself as she got into the car. But it wasn't the Uncle Obi she had known all this while. This very one had other intentions which were not of good to her life. There was no help anywhere either. It looked like it was just the two of them remaining in the whole world. That night, Ada returned home as a different person. She was quiet, distant, and lost in thought. Something inside her had broken, but no one noticed. Nobody noticed that Ada was home by 8 p.m. that evening instead of 4 p.m. because they all got home late too. Her 3 brothers waited at the market for their mother and got home together, while their father got home very late, unlike the normal time he does get home. Ada suddenly stopped enjoying the little things she once loved, her favorite book, playing with her sibling, and even school. At night, she lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, tears rolling down her face, but she never spoke about what happened in that car. One evening, she gathered the courage to speak to her mom. She whispered, "Mama, Uncle Obi, he hurt me." Her mom was surprised and looked at her with shock, but instead of comfort, Ada received silence. "Hush, Ada, don't say such thing about your uncle," her mom warned. "Do you want to bring shame upon this family? Uncle Obi has been a very good person to our family. He is not even related to us, but he treats your father as if your father is his elder brother. He was the one that secured your dad's job for him. He is currently sponsoring one of your brothers too. He is a good person." Mama Ada dismissed the issue. That was the last time Ada tried to speak. Something about her kept telling her to tell her dad or her brothers, but she couldn't. She just got discouraged by the way her mom answered her. Even when her brothers asked her what she was going through, she couldn't tell them. She found peace in her diary. In its pages, she poured out everything: the fear, the pain, the loneliness. It became her only escape. Her silence screamed to a world that refused to listen. There was no day she didn't update her diary, because there was no day she didn't think of what happened inside Uncle Obi's car that evening. The same Uncle Obi who has been very good to her family. Years passed, and Ada continued to suffer in silence. The burden of her past weighed her down, and the darkness inside her grew. She became very slim, and her parents thought she was sick, but she wasn't. oh, maybe she was sick, emotionally sick. One morning, her mom entered her room to wake her up, only to find her lifeless body lying peacefully on the bed. Beside her was a diary. She didn't take her own life. She died from overthinking. She died because her mother was silent about her cries. She died because nobody did anything about her struggles. With trembling hands, her mom opened the diary beside her and began to read. Each page was filled with words of agony, stories of the pain Ada endured, and the desperate cries for help that no one heard. Guilt crashed over her like a tidal wave. The very daughter she had sworn to protect had been silently drowning, and she had never saw it. She vividly recalled when her daughter said something about Uncle Obi, but she dismissed her words. A scream woke the whole household, and everyone was wondering what happened, only to find their only sister and daughter lifeless in the bed. Ada was gone. The bright star they all adored had gone. Her mother handed the diary to her father, and he couldn't believe what he was reading. He stormed out of his house angrily, heading to his best friend's house, Uncle Obi, only to reach there, and he found out that he had sold the house to someone else, and the new tenant had been occupying the space for a week now. Mr. Uche, Ada's father, tried calling his best friend non-stop, but none of his contacts were connecting. He decided to call one of Uncle Obi's friends, and he was told that Uncle Obi had left the country. He said he was tired of Nigeria and that he should go stay with his family in the States, Uncle Obi's friend said. Mr. Dave wondered why his friend didn't tell his best friend Mr. Uche that he was leaving the country. Ada was buried that evening. She was gone, but her story remained. She died at the age of 18, 5 years after her dad's best friend had caused her unbearable pain. Some screams are never heard, but that doesn't mean they are not real. Please do well to listen when someone speaks up. You might save a life. Ada's family was never the same after her demise. Not just parents. Everyone should look out for people who are close to them, and even strangers. Everyone should allow people to express themselves, and please do not cut them off when they try to talk. And even when they are not talking, please ask them to say something, because you'll be saving a life.